Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Latoya. Welcome to a Manifest That Shit podcast. We are going to be talking, of course, about manifestations, but also about how you can make your life your business. We're going to be digging deep and talking about passion, purpose, and profit. So stay tuned for this upcoming episode.
All right. Okay. Here? Yes. Hi. All right, so we are going to jump into it. Welcome, everybody, to the Manifest That Shit podcast.
Hi, guys.
And super excited. So this is the first time that I've actually had a special guest in person. Okay, so Dulce, I would love you to introduce yourself to the Manifest That Shit tribe. You guys are going to really, really love this, and I know it has a special place in my heart, but I'll let her go ahead and explain what she does.
Thank you. Hi, guys. I'm Dulce Zo, and thank you so much, Latoya, for having me on, and thank you guys for being here. I'm a hypnotherapist and holistic coach. I'm based out of Mesa, Arizona, but I teach people how to own their power on a conscious level and a subconscious level, because I think a lot of us have beliefs that we're not exactly clear on that we have, and they kind of hold us back. So I help people get intentional, get clear about what they really believe, what they really value, and help them release any blocks that they have that are holding them back from living a life that really feels fulfilling and fun for them.
Absolutely. So we were just talking about my experience with hypnotherapy, and there are so many different layers, and I think that providing people a level of education. So of course, as you guys know here on the podcast, we talk about everything from passion, from purpose to profits, and we also dip into spirituality. And I think that as a spiritual teacher myself, there's different layers and levels and different modalities in where our gifts kind of shine and come through. And so just quickly to touch base on it, I had my first hypnotherapy session probably it's about 2015, and it was during a very vulnerable place in my life. And so I was teaching, and then I was doing my spiritual work. I was kind of in a place of dealing with a lot of doubt, a lot of issues from my family not believing in me and what I could do and impacting people's lives. And so even though I was charging and pushing forward, I was still my inner child was kind of stuck in a rut, because I was told that basically, good luck, you can't leave, your corporate job and be successful at helping people. And so do you happen to see a lot of that in the patients that come to you, or do you actually, I should say it, because I have a health background, guys, so forgive me. So do you call in patients? Do you, how do you connect with people?
Yeah, I call my clients.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't call them patients, I call them clients, and I see a lot of that. We do see a little bit of spirit releasement. I really like doing that. I enjoy it because you see such huge transformations in one session. But we also see a lot of mindset shifts and breaks, because I think one of the things people don't really talk about is, especially like you said, we push through and we believe in our dreams and we move towards them. But a very important part of moving towards your dreams is understanding that you have to be so committed to that future vision that you're willing to let go of who you currently are. And that's really difficult.
That's very difficult. So it's like years later and creating something so different, but standing in your spiritual power and on that journey, you do have to release and let go of what you're doing. I know for me, leaving corporate America, that was my past life. I honor it. I'm thankful for it, but I know that it's now the next chapter of my journey in my life, right? And trusting the universe fully to have your back, right?
Yeah.
But there's still that little piece of just wanting to please your parents and having this old conditioning and this mindset. It's this little piece. It's not as bad as what it used to be,
right?
But it's definitely something that when failure starts to kick in and doubts, that's when it becomes an issue.
It's true. And it's normal for that to come out. And I mean, we work so hard, especially I know you, Latoya, and most of us, we work really hard and we build these lives that we're proud of.
Yes.
But I just was working with a client earlier this week, and we were talking about how I know that it's really hard to be like, but I made $100,000 this year. Like that makes me so comfortable. My life is just easy now. I'm so great that I'm here. But if you have a yearning within you to make $200,000, you have to let go of all of the beliefs and everything that one 100,000 person made to step into the 200,000. Yes. And that's difficult. That's difficult to go through the changes, to push through the self-doubt, to get clear on who am I? Who am I as a person who now makes double than what I made last year?
Just was talking about that last night, and I was like, oh my God, like, I'm releasing and I'm letting go of the old dollars, right? Of corporate America dollars. And I'm shifting and I'm getting into abundance.
Right.
And people don't realize, like, you call and you pray and you ask for abundance, but you don't realize what it quite looks like yet. And so I sat there and I said, well, dang, if I get, this particular client, because I'm raising myself to be, with higher end clients. So I'm like, if I'm shifting and I'm getting this, well, then more still are coming that are going to be coming like that. And so I'm like, wow. I was like, this is awesome.
Yes. And it takes a lot of ovaries to be willing to step into that.
I love that. No, and people don't realize the shift. And I think that you have to acknowledge and be gentle on yourself and tapping and stepping into your own power, and that those things are absolutely possible. So now you've just moved into a new office.
I have, yes.
It's beautiful. I love the energy. Even you guys, even just through Instagram, and I absolutely just adore and love the process you walked people through, like the whole entire synergy of the place. I thought that was really lovely. I mean, it speaks volumes. So now the work that you're going to be doing now, you've been a hypnotherapist for how many years?
About 3 years now, and a coach for almost 6.
Okay. So collectively, so when people come to you, what is the energy that most people feel?
Well, it's usually different. They're usually in a time of transition, or they're in a time where they feel stuck and they know it's time for a transition, but they're not sure what the next step to take. Because like we talked about, you move forward and you have your vision and you're like, okay, I'm going for it. But it's not always what you envision. You have to keep moving. You have to, instead of seeing the circumstances that are in front of you, you have to think, okay, I'm this person, and using that example again, I'm a person who makes $200,000 a year. What does that person do? How do they behave? How do they show up? What are their values? What are their behaviors? And really embodying that and kind of ignoring what's currently happening until you are surrounded by that and attract that. And that's really living life from an energetic level. And I think that's what all of my clients have in common, is they understand that logically we can have point A, B, C and have the best business plan, but life is going to happen. And how do we navigate that with ease and grace, not only for the process, but for ourselves?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that most people have this level of expectation or stereotype, there we go, of what a hypnotherapist does. And I truly feel that a hypnotherapist, I've been using this word and this kind of analogy, is that it's very important to realize when you're ready to go deeper, right? There's nothing wrong with going to a therapist or a psychologist and getting right down to the nuts and bolts. Once those nuts and bolts are identified, I feel that a hypnotherapist takes it to a deeper level, right? Kind of going into the garden, looking at the roots, looking at the weeds, and being able to not just, be the roundup of the situation, but really digging deep and pulling that weed out and that root of the weed out, right? Because you may think the weed is here, but really the root is all the way over here. And identifying it, pulling it, and going deeper. It's an intimate relationship. And I found, even for myself, I'm like, okay, I want to be able to get to the root of why do I attract this person?
Right.
What's happening? What's going on? How can I identify the issues and still be calm, cool, and collect?
Yes.
You know, so I think that that's really important. People have to realize that it's a whole nother deep level and layer to, you know, mind, body, and spirit.
Yes, it's subconscious support. And I think that that's the thing, is you really have to understand, with coaching, you can make all of your logical plans. You can understand logically, what are your values? What do I need to make? What are the actions I need to take to get me to achieve my goals? But what we don't often talk about is why we don't achieve those goals, the underlying beliefs we have, such as I'm not good enough, or maybe you think you want to make this much money, but subconsciously you have this belief that people who make that much money don't ever hang out with their friends or their family, and you still want to hang out with your friends and family. So you're going to keep blocking yourself and reaching that plateau.
Right.
Through hypnotherapy, we can go through a journey, and it's very, a lot of people think about it like, cluck like a chicken, or I'm going to make you do something crazy. And it's really not like that at all.
Yeah.
Really, it's the trance state is a lot like when you're when you're falling asleep and you're kind of there, but you're kind of not. So you are aware and you are conscious. And we can even have a conversation while you're in a trance state. But what I think is amazing is you get to explore the depths of your subconscious, which unless you're a meditator, people don't typically do. And it's so fun to see that there's unlimited information and so much for us there. And I think people having that experience and connecting with their subconscious, it kind of blows their mind and helps them realize.
It blew my mind. Yeah. I mean, I was able to walk through a visualization of the things that were happening, the vulnerabilities and the level of just, okay, who's manning my spiritual kingdom, you know, or spiritual house? And let's just say we got tons of real estate, right? So we got multiple houses that are doing different things. And so this spiritual house was a level of vulnerability and of saying, okay, I can hire and fire my spiritual guides. I can, you know, fix the broken doors, the shattered glass that had been caused from different issues, different pains, or for somebody else's issues or pains. And I can walk through and say, hey, guess what? You're okay. You're okay. Go to the light. Right. And that was also a different part of my gift too, in awakening the premonition side of me and being able to see things much clearer and to trust what I was seeing was okay.
Yes. And I love that you said that, because it can be scary at first. We live in this world and it's so 3D. Everything is physical. We're used to, we'll see it when we believe it. But really we have to believe it and then we'll see it. And we have to trust that our intuition is there to support us. There's a lot of, you know, dogma and programming that's been specifically to get us to not connect with our spirits, to have somebody in between. And I love being able to give people that experience, just kind of like how you had, where you realize, wow, I felt this. You know, there is no convincing me otherwise, because I was there, and that is as real as this desk is real.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think we live in this information age, and we have all this information, and we can Google anything, and we can find out so much that we become disconnected from our spirit and from the roots. And that's a cornerstone of who we are.
It's pivotal. I mean, first of all, that is how I became, you know, people would call me, you know, nickname like the queen of manifestation.
Yeah,
right. I mean, but it's like everybody can be the queen and the king of manifestation. But like you said, it's about believing and seeing it, and then like visualizing it, and then bringing it from a whole nother element and world and pushing it into reality.
Yes.
And so therefore the healing can begin. Therefore you can actually, it's like wishing upon a star and seeing a dream come true. Like that's how powerful, you know, and the healing is to making your dreams truly a reality. That to me was like, oh, I get it. I'm like, I get, that's how powerful the hypnotherapy that I had was, and I needed it just for that time. And
your mindset. Your mindset is so important too. So yes, the hypnotherapy was, but let's also honor how you have been a loss from the beginning. And something I love about you, and I'm sure all of your listeners are aware of this already, is you really embody knowing that in order to summon the best version of you, you have to see her and you have to call her forward. So many people we talk to are in a place where they're like, this is where I come from and this is why I'm here. And while I honor your story and you know, I know what it's like to come from struggle and have, you know, abundance and be at peace. We also have to recognize that where you come from isn't as important as where you're going. And having that awareness of who you truly are and honoring that right now, even before you're there. That's how I believe you call her forward. And I love how you embody that.
Really in tears. Oh my God, thank you so much. There are very few people, I tell you guys, it's such a gift, who can really call the level of integrity that I have out and, you know, for people. I can't even go into it, but it's so special, I think, when someone has such a beautiful gift to be able to see through people and see also into people on a different level energetically that is what we all truly are searching for, is that level of acceptance and permission within ourselves. And so I thank you for that. I thank you and I receive that fully. That is such a beautiful gift, you guys. And that's what this show is about, because I know that there are listeners out there that are like, I can totally relate. I know what you're going through, and being able to have amazing guests like this on the show. And so what I want to do is every guest that comes on here, there's a few special guests, and I want to be able to create a series for you guys, because it's not just a quick talk, you know, hit it and quit it. We're not about hitting it and quitting it, right? We want to get you to an orgasmic state and a state of enjoying the pleasure of knowledge and of spiritual truth and of healing. That's so important. And so it's not just about manifesting in the moment. It's about what that manifestation can become once you have received, and then once you have taken it and you're just kind of marinating in it, right? And so I think that's so beautiful. And so I want to be able to, of course, have you back on and really go into depth. So this is just the beginning. This is just video number 1. So stay tuned, because we're going to talk about, you know, relationships, and we're going to even talk about sex.
Yes, we are.
We are going to get into the goddess energy. I can just feel chills, because the spirit's like, yes. Right? We need to be able to free ourselves from captivity. And the chains that have been locked on us. And so definitely stay tuned, because there is so much that is going to be coming. Definitely look out. So where can people find you?
I am on Instagram at Dulce_Zo. You can also check out my website, dulcezo.com. And I just started an online academy for people who want to do personal development, but it might be new to them. And it's called thezoacademy.com. And you'll find a bunch of meditations and online resources to really support you in living your best life and really honoring yourself on a mind, body, and spirit level. Because I really do believe that if you want to see physical changes, it really starts within.
Absolutely. And I love that we have the resources and the tools and that you can use them, because guess what? Every single day, you guys, it is literally about going deep and going within, and also maintaining where you're at and getting to the level of healing that you are looking for. So I will make, of course, I'm always do it. I will make sure that I provide you the links and the information, and that you can be able to connect with the Zo Academy and really tapping into self-development. And again, we're going to stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it. Make sure that you guys subscribe, first and foremost, leave a review, send an email as well, or direct message us if on social media. Let us know how you liked this podcast and liked this video, and stay tuned for more to come.
Yes.
All right. Bye.
Thank you guys so much for joining me on today's episode of the Manifest That Shit podcast. If you are interested in getting your side hustle into a true business and stop treating your business like a hobby, then sign up for the How to Work Like a Boss and Make 10K. It is a free guide just for you that I created. And in this, it really gives you the exact steps that I took in order to create that passionate, purposeful, and profitable business. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. And last but not least, leave a review. Give me those stars and leave your comment. Let me know what topics you would like to hear next time. And definitely, if you're interested in booking a free business strategy session with me, go ahead and also click the link below. I'll see you in the next episode. Make sure that you make your life your business. Bye, Boss Babes.